let's break down the two games from opening night. Starting off with the Denver Nuggets beating the LA Lakers 119 to 107. Denver, they looked basically in regular season form coming off their championship. Nikola Jokic, 29 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists, triple double in his first game of the season. Looking like an MVP favorite. He's going to be my pick to uh, take the MVP award home this year after not getting it last year, primarily due to voter fatigue. So I expect that Jokic is going to have three MVPs in 4 years. He is the best player in the NBA and the highest rated player in both my roster and the official 2K roster. I have him at a 98 overall. This is my roster, by the way. Real 2K roster is the modern era that we'll be reviewing these things in. I will go over any changes that I made based on any of these games. Jamal Murray, he had a solid game, 21 points, 6 assists, 8 of 13 from the field. He looks to make his first All-Star appearance this year, and so far so good. And the rest, rounding out the rest of the guys on this team, Aaron Gordon, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Michael Porter Jr., 12 points, 12 rebounds. KCP, 20 points on 8 of 12 shooting. So the starting lineup was great. You can see that I have the three non-star starters on this team rated higher than 2K Sports does. But oh man, the bench is really not good. Reggie Jackson essentially is he was out of the rotation in the playoffs, and now he's the primary backup at both guard positions, essentially filling Bruce Brown's role with the team last year. Going from Bruce Brown to Reggie Jackson is going to be a huge drop off. They're going to be the Nuggets are relying a lot on internal improvement from Christian Braun and Peyton Watson. Note that I have Peyton Watson as a power forward rather than a shooting guard, which 2K has got him at. And I tracked their positions during this game just to verify all that. Christian Braun did not play a single second at shooting guard. It was all basically a three-guard alignment of Reggie Jackson came in for either Murray or KCP. Braun played all of his minutes exclusively at the three behind Michael Porter Jr. So they are definitely very thin in the backcourt. If anything ever happens to Reggie Jackson, I don't know what's going to happen because behind him they got Jalen Pickett, who's a rookie, and Justin Holiday, who's 34 years old and was not very good last season. So yeah, let's head over to the Lakers. Obviously, for Game One, the starting lineup was able to take it home for Denver. But over an 82 game season, I definitely can see the bench possibly being an issue. They may want to cash in some of those young guys and try to acquire a veteran later in the year at the trade deadline or All-Star break. But heading over to the Lakers, who put up a valiant effort, but they have lost their last 5 games to the Denver Nuggets at the very least. I don't know, I'm not keeping track of the regular season results, but they got swept and then lost again here. LeBron was on a minutes restriction. Keep an eye on that. He only played 29 minutes in this one, but he was effective. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 10 of 16 from the field, but only to one free throw. So keep an eye on that. LeBron posted the lowest free throw rate of his career last season. Obviously, he is 38 years old, turning 39 in 2 months. So I don't expect him to, his days of getting 10 free throws per game are more or less over, but you would like him to get more than one, especially with how physical he plays. So he might have been taking it a little easy in this one. Anthony Davis had a kind of a subpar offensive game, 17 points, but on 6 of 17 shooting. He did hit a 3, which is something you want to keep an eye on, as Davis's jumper more or less abandoned him over the last 2 years or so. So he was 1 for 2 on threes this game. Just something to keep an eye on. He was 26%, I believe, last season. Let me just do a quick check on that. Yeah, 26%, 19% the year before, 26% before that. And really, the bubble year where they won the title was really the only year that he was respectable from 3 point range. So they are looking for a return to form in that regard. But obviously, he had his hands full on the defensive end, trying to contain Nikola Jokic. So understandable that he would have had a subpar offensive game. Taurean Prince was able to pick it up for the Lakers. Scored 18 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Was 4 of 6 on threes, and he's been they've been talking to him about him as the starter on opening night. I don't know if that's going to maintain. Jared Vanderbilt did not play in this game as he's a little banged up to start the year. Maybe Vanderbilt takes his starting spot rather than Prince, but I think Prince is a pretty good fit. He is a better shooter than Hashimura or Vanderbilt, so he does make a lot of sense next to LeBron and AD in that starting lineup. However, he isn't the defensive player that Vando is, so they might end up going there. But he was solid in this one, and I did actually boost his overall rating in this game. Previously, 2K's got him at a 75. I bumped him up to a 78 just so he's in the same rating range with the rest of the guys in their rotation. Austin Reeves, 14 points, only 4 of 11 shooting in this one, but 5-7 from the line, continuing to get to the line. Also had 8 rebounds and 4 assists. So pretty solid overall game. Also 2 steals. Um, yeah, they're expecting him to be the third best guy on this team. D'Angelo Russell, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Only 4 of 12 from the field, though. Did hit 2 threes, 2 for 5. Didn't get to the line, 1 for 2. So kind of a mediocre game for him. I don't anticipate that he'll finish the season on the team. They probably would prefer to go with like Gabe Vincent in the starting lineup, as they don't need D'Angelo Russell's shot creation in the starting lineup. They need a 3D guy like Vincent, but basically Russell's starting because of his rep, and they need to keep his trade value high. Even though they gave him the extension, it's neither part. It's kind of a matter of convenience for both sides. I don't expect that he's going to be with the team for a super long period. Otherwise, the Lakers, they really didn't get too much from their bench in this one. Same story with the Nuggets. Rui Hachimura, disappointing game, 6 points on 3 of 10 shooting. Only played 15 minutes. Gabe Vincent also had 6 points on 3 of 8 shooting. 0 for 4 from 3. Hachimura was 0 for 3 from 3, so they didn't get really any shooting from their bench. Christian Wood had 7 points in 15 minutes. Cam Reddish had 7 points. I expect that Reddish's minutes will disappear as soon as Vando is ready to go. But yeah, let's head on over to the Phoenix Suns, the other game tonight. The Phoenix Suns beat the Warriors 108 to 104, and Devin Booker had 32 points in this one. 13 of 21 from the field, 3 of 8 on threes, 3 for 3 from the line. Also had 6 rebounds and 8 assists as the starting point guard for the team. Bradley Beal did not play. He was out for the first game with an injury. He's day to day. Expect him back in game 2, which the Suns are definitely going to need. Well, more on that in a second. But Kevin Durant had 18 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. Only shot 7 of 22 from the field. 1 for 2 on threes, 3 for 5 from the free throw line. So definitely got a steady diet of mid-range shots. I would like to see him take more than 2 threes in 37 minutes. That's a lot. Or that's a lot of minutes for only 2 threes. But yeah, just a subpar game overall for him. Obviously he's 35, but I think it's just an off night. And Josh Okogie, he actually made up for it. I've got him significantly rated higher than 2K. I'm not sure exactly what they've got him at. I think maybe a 76 or 77. I've got him at an 81 because I anticipate that his 3-point shot is gonna, he as long as it's respectable, he's gonna be pretty good because he's the best defensive player on this team. a Swiss Army knife. He can play 2 through 4, which he did in this game. 17 points on 7 of 9 shooting, tacked on 5 rebounds. He was 1 for 1 on threes. So solid overall game for him. Yusuf Nurkic had 14 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. He did have 5 fouls, but hey, that's what he's there for, right? 5 8 from the field, hit a 3, 1 for 2 in 28 minutes. Nurk kind of had a down couple years with the Blazers, but looking to have a resurgence. Obviously, if he can average double-figure boards, that would go a long way towards replacing DeAndre Ayton in a positive manner. And also, the three-point shot is a facet of the game that Ayton didn't really bring, and they definitely would help. This team needs as much three-point shooting to spread the floor as possible. So Nurk was able to do that. But speaking of three-point shooting, oh man, Grayson Allen was 0 for 6 in this game, starting for Bradley Beal. And Eric Gordon wasn't much better, shooting 4 for 16 from the field, 10 points on 16 shots, 2 of 9 on threes. Woof. Yeah, they're definitely. So the Suns won this game, despite not only did they not have Bradley Beal, but they got 4 of 22 combined shooting from Grayson Allen and Eric Gordon. So they have to feel pretty good about that at least. Aside from that, the bench didn't really give them too much. 10 points for Gordon, 4 points for Eubanks, 8 for Watanabe, 2 for Jordan Goodwin, and then 3 for Nasir Little to round things out. Keita Bates-Diop did not play. I'm not sure if there was an injury or if it was the DNP-CD. The fact that he didn't play, if it was a DNP-CD, the fact that he didn't play, even though Bradley Beal didn't play, probably not a great sign for him. As Grayson Allen did get a fair amount of minutes at small forward. I would anticipate that when Bradley Beal comes back, all those minutes that went to Jordan Goodwin go away, and all the minutes that Grayson Allen got at the 2 guard go away. So we're probably looking at Grayson Allen as the primary backup at the 3, with Eric Gordon as the primary backup for Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal also backing up Devin Booker at the 1. So that's more or less where I've got the Suns at the moment. I did tweak intangibles for a couple guys just to make sure that they're all in the proper place in the rotation. Got Bol down to a 74 from like a 77. Got Yuta Watanabe's rating above Chimezie Metu to make sure he plays. But did not do that yet for Jordan Goodwin. Jordan Goodwin just needs an overall, I need to actually do his full rating because he's a good defensive player, but you wouldn't be able to tell that from the 2K Sports roster. Yeah, he's only a 63 perimeter defense rating. That's not very good. I'd probably have him around like at a bare minimum 75, probably an 80. Certainly shouldn't be 10 points worse than Eric Gordon or 7 points worse than Grayson Allen, I can tell you that. So that's where I've got the Suns after one game. And let's go on over to the Golden State Warriors to finish things off. Steph Curry had he was the leader for them, 27 points, but on 8 of 20 shooting, 4 of 14 on threes, 7 of 7 from the line at least, so he did get to the line. Kind of a subpar shooting night for him, although he did hit a big 3 late to make things close. It's worth noting that in my roster, I've got Steph Curry at the 2 guard. He did start next to Chris Paul in this one. And also, I guess worth noting, he had 27 points on 20 shots, only 1 assist. So was definitely the 2 guard. Chris Paul, conversely, had 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. The other big take, although Chris Paul only shot 4 of 15 from the field, 0 of 6 on threes. 6 of 7 from the line, though, still getting to the line with that, despite being 6'1", 175. He's got that veteran craft, able to... So the Warriors' 2 guards, who are very small, took a combined 14 free throws. So pretty good there. Compare that to LeBron, who at 6'8", 250 or whatever, only took the 1. Sorry, something in my throat. But yeah, so as a result of Steph Curry being a two guard, basically everybody else gets bumped up in the lineup. Klay Thompson bumped him to the small forward, and actually Klay spent time at the two and at the four in this one. I don't know. He's like the third string power forward on this team. Draymond Green did not play. He might play in the second game. Well, I'm still not sure long term if we're going to have Chris Paul as a starting point guard or not, or if Andrew Wiggins is going to come off the bench instead, or even Klay Thompson. To be honest, Kerr's going to. He's mentioned during preseason that he's kind of going to go by committee in that regard. But yeah, Wiggins and Klay did not shoot any better in this one. 6 of 18 from the field for Klay Thompson, 3 of 11 on threes, 15 points and 7 rebounds. So that's a high rebound number for him. He said he is going to have to focus more on rebounding, especially as he plays small forward and power forward. Kerr mentioned that he can't just be a 20 points, 2 rebounds type of player. He needs to find ways to contribute without the ball, especially since Curry is, playing with Chris Paul. He's going to be getting a lot more of the off-ball actions that Klay used to get. Klay's probably more of like a spot-up shooter now than coming off screens as much as he previously used to. And Andrew Wiggins, also a subpar offensive game, 10 points on 4 of 12 shooting. He only had 1 rebound, which is not great. Obviously, they need more from him, but obviously, I think these two guys also had their hands full guarding Kevin Durant in this one. So, and I'm sure Wiggins actually took the primary matchup on Durant. So, in that regard, at least holding KD to a 7 of 22 shooting night is pretty good. I'd imagine like usually offense is a little deflated actually in like the first 2 months of the year. We're kind of still in like extended preseason. Guys are still finding their rhythm. So you know, I expect cold shooting nights for a lot of stars to be like the norm, and then things pick up usually in like January. At least it's been the trend for like the last couple of years. I think last year's January was like the biggest offensive month in like NBA history when it happened. Um, and then each month after that was like the biggest offensive month in NBA history. Kevon Looney, solid game, 7 points, 11 rebounds, 3 of 6 from the field. Not a ton to write home about there. Jonathan Kuminga was solid, 12 points, 4 of 8 from the field. Did have 5 fouls, however, in only 20 minutes. He's probably just going to, as long as he's in a bench role, he's going to be aggressive defensively and rack up fouls, but that's not going to get him, it's not going to bode well for him once he eventually does take over the starting job, however many years from now, I guess. Gary Payton had a subpar game as well, offensively, 0 for 5 from the field. Moses Moody was okay, 11 points. He's a 73 overall in the 2K Sports roster, so I did have to boost his intangibles all the way up just to get him into the rotation. And Dario Saric played 20 minutes, had 7 points on 3 of 11 shooting. So, yeah, kind of a deflated offensive night around the league. 35.6% shooting for the Golden State Warriors in this one, 23% on threes. Definitely not their best night, but hopefully they perform a little better, especially with Chris Paul at the helm. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the first 2 games played in this season, and whether or not there's any players you can see in the roster for these 4 teams that you think should go up or down in rating, etc. I will try to do a lot of these. I don't know about daily recap videos, but every couple games, especially when there's like big, when you got the national games, when there's only 2 games that you can cover. I think those are a good time to kind of recap what's going on with those teams. It's a little hard when like all 30 teams play on the same night. Otherwise that'll be turned into like a 2-hour video or something, and hey, nobody got time for that. Shit, if you guys watched whatever, this is probably like 20 minutes or so. If you guys watched this far, kudos to you. I appreciate all my fans. And yeah, speaking of fans, if you're a fan of me, you can subscribe to my Patreon, patreon.com/R2K rosters this year, to get access to my roster spreadsheet with all the ratings and badges that I have in my 2K Sports roster. Otherwise, follow, like, subscribe to videos, follow me on Twitter at Real2K Insider, and I'll catch you guys throughout the NBA season. Peace out.